Here we go, recording now. Hi, I'm Katie from Australia. This is my first attempt at at making any content for Rumble. I love Rumble, especially since I'm a big fan of Russell Brand, and I love Rumble's mission for free speech. I'm just filming this on my phone. So I've got a show on X, and I'm wanting to move on to here to Rumble. I don't have any deals with Rumble. I'm not earning any money from doing this. I just love free speech, and I love Rumble. I've got a little show on X called in today's episode of Australia's Downfall, because my country is literally going insane, and I rant about it to help myself and to encourage Aussies, because to stand up against the insanity. Now, my country is being wrecked by a far left government, a prime minister that is a very weak coward and a globalist, and we have been wrecked by mass migration. I'm here in my city in Western Australia, and it doesn't really feel like home anymore. Even the church has some political messaging I don't really agree with. But I am glad that we had the church, so I'm just going to rant and do what I do on X here. The biggest story that has Aussies enraged right now is and what I'm really worrying about, because we have our Prime Minister, right, is a far left coward who has no guts at all, and how every country, right, Australia's basically become an open doormat for the world just to walk all over. And we have migrants from China here. We have Indians that are now working for Uber, and trying to find a white English speaking Uber driver is like I think walking on the rainbow in the sky and finding the pot of gold would be easier than trying to find an English speaking white Uber driver in my country, in my town at the moment. And we have Muslim women in this town and my country that either wear headscarves or burqas, because that's what happens when your country is run by a globalist coward. But because our Prime Minister is a spineless coward and very arrogant, he can't handle any feedback about himself. So his answer to that all the feedback, all the negative feedback he is receiving, that he has earned and very well deserved, he can't handle that. So his answer to that is to wrap up protection for the kids his answer to that is to make a social media ban to ban Aussies from critiquing him, that he very well deserves, because his ego's so far up his own ass, he can no longer see what side is up and what common sense and logic is. If you can't handle negative feedback, why the fuck are you in that job in the first place, is what a normal person would ask. But we don't know. As Gordon Ramsay, we need Gordon Ramsay to yell at him like he does in his TV show, right? Gordon Ramsay always says, if you can't handle the heat, then you should remove yourself from the fucking kitchen. So We Aussies need Gordon Ramsay to yell at Albo. You can't handle the heat and the critique of your actions in a government as a Prime Minister, then get the fuck out of the kitchen. We need Gordon Ramsay to yell that to Albo, please. So yeah, but he can't just come out and say, I'm an asshole, I'm a narcissist, I can't handle the payback of my actions, even though I'm in this job of Prime Minister, where I will be critiqued. So I'm going to I'm going to place a social media ban for Aussies because of that reason. He can't come out and say that. So what he's doing is he's saying, I will ban social media first for under 16s and wrap that as protection for kids while we have mass migration, and while in Queensland, in South Australia, this hasn't come to my town yet, but we never know. In South Australia, they're having they wasted millions of dollars on taxpayers' funds. Of course, my country's government here never paid for anything other than taxpayer dollars. They use taxpayer dollars, right, to put a machete bin. Yeah, I know, you're probably saying it sounds like something like a dumb script writer would write this, but I can't even believe it's real. They put a machete bin there, right, because they're so stupidly dumb. They think that people will just put their machetes in the bin, and then that will solve the problem of the migrants running into shopping malls and slashing people with their machetes. Instead of doing what a smart person would do and actually just deport the people who are a smart person would just deport the people that are actually running into the malls with the machetes, right? A smart person would do that. But our government is not smart at all. Apart from Pauline. Pauline's probably the one politician in our country that still has a brain and cares for the country. She's very brave, but the rest of them are just a greatest collection of dumb assholes that you've ever seen. And so yeah, they put a machete bin, paid for that with taxpayer dollars, and then kept the migrants that are ones running into the shopping malls with the machetes, had kept them here. So the real cause of the problem is kept here, while the bin just sits there not being used, because newsflash, people don't just put their weapons in a bin. That is the greatest way that I can explain the stupidity of the Australian government. And thank God that I'm a woman of faith, man. Thank God for that, because if I didn't have my faith, man, I must say the Serenity prayer has been a life-saving. That's a life-saving grace, man. That prayer, man, oh my God, I'm so glad I know it by heart and I can say that, because, man, that prayer has saved me so many times. That prayer works, man. Oh my God, this country has gone insane. And so yeah, the social media ban in this country is a terrifying thing. But funny enough, I have discovered that the two apps that I know of so far that are exempt from from the social media ban, because our government are a collection of arseholes and cowards in this country who can't handle the feedback that they very well deserve. The two apps that I know of so far that are exempt is Blue Sky. Now that's hilarious, isn't it? Blue Sky's apparently, yeah, because all the people on Blue Sky are just as dumb as the people making the ban. I'm sure there's no critique of the government no real critique of the government on fucking Blue Sky, are they? Because they're just as dumb as the people making the ban. That's hilarious. Of course they don't ban their apps they love. Of course they don't. This is stupid. I can't believe people are even surprised. No one should be surprised that Blue Sky is exempt from the social media ban. And I've read yesterday on X that the Noticer, who I love the Noticer, I get so many great articles because I have a Substack and I write essays about the downfall of this country. So yeah, I'm very glad that the Noticer on X posted that kids, this is disgusting, that kids are now using dating apps because of course the dating apps are exempt from the social media ban. They're using the young kids that are being targeted with this social media ban are using dating apps just to chat the same way they would with Instagram or Facebook, because of course these Meta using apps are bending the coward knee to the social media ban because of course, I don't know why, but apparently Instagram, Facebook and a lot of apps are, I'm not sure, I'm praying that X fights this, but I just really want to get this message about the social media ban out to the Rumble viewers here, because I'm not sure. I do pray strongly that Elon Musk and Chris at Rumble and the Rumble team and the Rumble creators, especially the American Rumble creators, that they hear this message about the social media ban in Australia, because I don't know how if Locals or Rumble or X or YouTube or these especially, I think YouTube's trying to fight back against it, I'm not sure, but I don't know how they may lose the Aussie or the American, like Russell Brand, Tucker, Timcast, Pop Culture Crisis, Brett Cooper. They may lose the Aussie audience because I don't know what apps are going to be. We might face a social media ban, and they're going to force these apps that comply with the social media ban. I think that they're going to wrap the online ID with the social media ban, and we're going to have to prove that we're over the age of 16 or whatever. That we're going to have to put, I had the past couple of days, I've had Instagram ask me to put in my location. It's fucking crazy. All because our government and our Prime Minister are gutless cowards who can't handle the negative feedback that they very well deserve. It's disgusting. It's government overreach, and it's not the government's job to parent kids. Kids have parents. It's the parents' job and the teens themselves to decide on whether they have social media or not. I say a teen at 16 is able to make their own decisions, but the government should not be involved in any way about how a parent and a teen have social media. There should be no government involved in how a parent raises their kids. I'm not a parent myself, and I think this is totally government overreach and disgusting. And I think that our far left government here, especially our Prime Minister, have a sick need and want to replace parents and get them out of the way so the government can take over. I really think that that's the case. I speak English. The Asian parents, man, they don't speak English to their kids. Hey, speak English. You're in Australia, man. Speak English. Speaking of that, we have so many migrants in this country. Why do we have in my town here? We have Asians still wearing COVID masks. Why the hell does anyone think that masks still work in 2025? And especially if we have migrants that because Albo loves China. Oh my God. Albo loves China so much and it's kissed their ass so much. We don't know where Australia starts and China ends in this country. We have so many Asian type students and migrants in this country that it doesn't feel like home anymore. It's disgusting. An example this, they don't bother to learn English, they don't assimilate, they don't speak to the kids in English, even in public. So the lie that migrants assimilate is bullshit, and I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And why do I get bad looks when I tell Muslim women that you're in Australia now and take off your burqa? Because for as long as humanity has been alive on Earth, we have known that being able to see, especially in public as strangers, being able to see a human face is what helps to build trust. If I can't see your face because your culture requires you to wear some covering for your face, I don't trust you, and I'm not apologizing for that. That's just how humanity has worked for years. And you're in my country now, so you should assimilate with us. What I can't stand is how we all know that if we went to China, India, or these Muslim countries, they would expect us to learn their language and to fit in their countries. But they come here and they can't even show us the same respect that we all know that they would demand to us. So screw that. Mass migration is a government-caused wreckage of the West, and the migrants here are very arrogant, actually. I get bad looks when I tell a Muslim woman to take off a headscarf or burqa. I'm sorry, don't look at me. I'm not the one who told you to come here. You complain to a government overlord that it's kissing your country's ass while neglecting Aussies, just like what's happening all over the West. And I'm not the one that asked you to come here, so why are you complaining to me? You're in my country now. You fit in with us or fuck off. I don't know why is that so hard for people to understand. And when I tell people out loud to speak English in public, they look at me like I swore at them. I'm like, I'm an Aussie. I just told you to speak English because we're an English-speaking country and I want my country to stay the same as it was. You know, the great nation it was. There are a lot more worse words I could say to you as an Australian, and you're lucky that I'm resisting the temptation to do so. The arrogance is unbelievable. And to any American person that may say this, God bless Trump. I know he's trying so hard to end the Ukraine war with Russia, but as an Aussie, I'm sorry to say that effort is redundant, because I think he should just pull out and move on, because, well, no, actually, I pray for peace, right? But the Australian arsehole that runs our country, Albo, the Prime Minister, is active because he hates Trump, right? He hates Trump. He ever since Trump won last year in 2024, he has basically done everything opposite that Trump has done. Everything that Trump has done that is good for America, Albo's done the opposite, purely out of spite, at least that's my opinion. He's not copied Trump, which I would rather he copy Trump. At this point, I would rather Trump just adopt Australia as another state. I say Australia, we tried to do it on our own. We can't do it. It has failed. Just take us, Trump. Take us. Australia's like a lost child. Australia as a country is like a lost child looking for a parent to guide us. It's like looking for a parent that will protect us. And yeah, at this point, I think Australia running itself has failed. I'm ready for Trump just to adopt us, please. I want the American Bill of Free Speech, and I want the American protect yourself gun, Second Amendment. But our government's way too far left for that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. The reason why I think Trump's Ukraine and Russia effort to end that war is completely redundant is because arsehole Albo is a globalist and has neglected the point of Albo caring and looking out for the Aussie people. That idea has been dead for a long time. So now he's a globalist, right? So he is allowed, because he's a spineless coward and everyone knows it, he says that Australia, I hate how they word it. They say Australia's going to send millions of dollars to Ukraine to keep the war going, because dead bodies make money, which is tragic, but true. I hate how they word it. No, Australia as a whole country with the Aussie people do not agree with sending millions of dollars to fucking Ukraine. If America's sending all the money that America did, none of that money has ended the war. So why would Australia or any other country sending more help end it? Because they're not trying to end it. It's a way to flush money and then collect money from the dead bodies at the end. They're clearly not trying to end the war. I know Trump is, but the rest of them aren't. Clearly. So, yeah, I hate how they word it. The Australian people do not agree with sending more money to Ukraine. We can barely, in my town alone, there are Aboriginals people sleeping next to a building and an organisation that is claiming to help them. We can't even house the Aussie people. There's a housing crisis in this country. The companies building the houses keep going bankrupt because the demand, because of migrants being allowed in, as an apparently there was a housing shortage, right? So to cover up that failure, Albo decided to flood the country with more people. Yeah, so I'll just I will explain that again. A shortage of housing. This is Albo's nonsense bullshit logic. The housing shortage happened, right? So more people from third world countries coming into the same country that has a housing crisis was apparently the answer. But it's not, obviously, so that's just made the housing crisis even worse. So, and the housing building companies have gone bust, or a few of them have gone bust. So now, with all the charities and organisations and bullshit, in this city there is an Aboriginal building right near the train station claiming to help the Aboriginals while they're sleeping in a tent next to that same building. And apparently we're in a good place to fund Ukraine. What the fuck? This is what happens when your country falls to a absolutely no longer noticeable way. And I keep seeing, I'm really worried about this social media ban. I think it will make kids' mental health worse. because social media is how kids connect with their friends, and I think it's a terrifying thing, and it's being wrapped in protection of kids to try to sell it. But it's really, and Aussies aren't as dumb as Albert claims we are. We can see through it that it's about government control and overreach, and it's because our far left Prime Minister and collection of arseholes that we unfortunately call a government cannot handle any negative feedback about itself, so they're banning the apps where people talk to, but the dating apps and Blue Sky are exempt. Isn't that insane? Thank you for watching my first video on Rumble. This has been awesome. Please share, like. My name's Katie. This is episode 1 of Rumble on... this is episode 1 of in today's episode of Australia's Downfall on Rumble. Thank you for watching, everybody. And keep him close. We need God more than ever.